Hello, everybody. It's 12:18 p.m. Central Time on the 28th of November, 2022. It is Monday here in the United States, and I've got an update for you. First of all, I almost sneezed into the microphone, so that's not really a good way to start out, but that's okay. We're not here to talk about me or anything. Let's get a display capture turned on and just show you what's been going on. Now, first of all, there's a lot of seismic activity to report here in Hawaii. If you haven't heard, Mauna Loa is currently erupting. And it was a pretty significant first start to the eruption. And I'm going to take you over to my YouTube page and show you. For instance, I made a video on it. It's already reached about 50,000 people, which is a lot for this time frame for 6 hours from my channel. That is actually reaching a fair amount of people. If you go over to the USGS page, right now it doesn't really look like much. During the daytime, this is showing us where the fissuring is taking place. Now, this is all fresh lava, glowing still, but the sunlight is, of course, obscuring that. The glowing can be seen in many other shots. We can go back over and let me show you, for instance, how this started right after sunset, a few hours after sunset for Hawaii last night. This is our thermal view. So if you're not familiar with College of DuPage or what we're looking at, this is the view that we normally view wildfires on. And look at that. It broke out and then started flowing down the north side of the volcano. And that's where we are now. I can get it into a closer view if you guys would like, just to see up close. This red splotch is the current lava flow. But here's where it started. Boom, outbreak, went across the caldera in a giant fissure that was about a mile wide, or a mile long, I'm sorry. And then here is the flow starting to go out right before sunrise, out to the north side. And here we are after sunrise now. So it's going out on the north side of the volcano, hence the update that I'm doing now. I said we'd get back on and address if a flow started happening. And indeed, a flow started happening out the north side. It's already gone down somewhat equal to the Mauna Loa Observatory. It has come out the top of the caldera, went over to this side, the northeast side, and flowed right over that lip of a few feet. I want to say this is maybe just 2 or 3 feet at the most high of a lip. And really, this is like a dome shape. So this is a dome that goes at, let's see, 1350 height, 13,050 feet, and then we go 48, 47, 46, 45, 44, and start going down in a slope where all of this was then captured. Go back over to my YouTube community page where I made posts throughout the night going into this morning, and this started to come off the top of the volcano. Now we have to address that just several hours earlier, we heard in the professional circles that there was not going to be a flow that came out the top of the volcano and that it would stay inside of the caldera. Instead, now what's happening is that it's flowing down the north side where all the previous flows previously went out this side of Mauna Loa. And the good news is there's not much down here. It literally is just fields of old lava flows and a few roads connecting to the observatory. Now, if there's people at the observatory, I hope they have another way to get down off the mountain aside from right here, because the road looks like it just goes over to the east. Well, no, it looks like it just goes over to the east, and that's where the lava flow is coming down now. Now, they have a tower there at this observatory, a giant tower that has cameras on top of it, and I think we might even be able to see what this place looks like. So you can see this tower that I'm talking about that obviously has cameras on it, but I would think they probably have evacuated out of here. There's one tower. There's the one I'm talking about. So I would think that those are not just some weather stations up there, that we actually have some cameras up on top of that tower at the observatory, which should get a good view of it, but it's not being provided to the general public at this point. I verified that. I went over to their site to go check, and it's just pointing down at the parking lot. So, that being said, we're relying on citizen journalists to bring us the information. And let me just take you over to Twitter, for instance, where this video has been posted showing the flow right before sunrise. And notice this was posted how many hours ago? Okay, so, several hours ago. this was coming out the top and flowing down the side, while we were really being told that there wasn't going to be a flow that came out the top and went down the side. Like I said, the good news is there's no one down here, no subdivisions, no nothing. And then, to top it off on the good news, it would have to be the biggest eruption ever to reach out down to here, which is, of course, the populated areas of Hilo and so forth, and the old lava flows. And these are ancient, really. I'll just call them, thousands of years old, maybe. That it would take, again, a huge eruption, I think way bigger than this, to reach all the way there. So famous last words, I better just knock on wood or something. But I don't think it would ever reach over to Hilo at this point, the way the eruption's going on now, unless something way bigger takes place. I think the 1984 eruption may have been bigger. I'm not trying to downplay this. Nobody got to me. They're not telling me what to say, guys. Right now, as it stands, it looks like it's somewhere less than the 1984 eruption. It's still significant. It's huge. I mean, come on, this never happens. But the only other thing I would want to watch out for right now, well, two things. I'd want to watch for an increase up at the peak, back where the flow was originally starting with the big fracture that took place across the center. And I would want to watch for outbreaks on the side. You can see where spatter cones form. And this happens when a big push comes in from underneath. And if there's a big surge in the magma chamber in the past, and you just think of any other volcano that we watched erupt in the past, when we watched, for instance, the Canary Islands last year, that was a pretty significant eruption in its own right. It went on for several months. And on the side of the volcano, all sorts of side vents and flanks formed that looked almost exactly like these buttes, these small spatter cones that we see placed out around the outside edge of here. So it could happen that way. I'm not saying it's going to, but you can see where it did happen in the past. Outbreaks on the side. And then that flows, of course, down, and you get sometimes pretty long flows that go down a long way on those side flank breaks, as opposed to something that comes out the peak. The peak of the caldera, or the peak of the crater at the top. So let's just keep an eye on it. I kind of stand by it now. This is less than 1984. It's significant, but the way that it's flowing out is good right now. That's good news. So it's flowing out into an area where there's nobody, as opposed to flowing down this side, where you get down here, and all of a sudden you've got a whole bunch of people. And you can see where we had flows that came out on the sides, but on both sides, on the north side and on the south side, it's, 1984 eruption really covered it in deep, deep flows. Look what they've done. I mean, people were taking a gamble on this because the previous flows that you can see that came out on the south side of the volcano, some of them did go down right through here, and we get side flank breaks and a side flank breaks, and it goes down and it covers this area where there's a lot of people. Now, I have to remind everybody that there may be a reason why we're not getting a good live view of the lava flow, and why the professionals might have been dragging their feet a little on showing us what this thing is doing. Yes, they're telling us, but they're kind of, playing it down. You have to remember, there's so many tourists here right now, so many seasonal visitors that come out for the winter and holiday season around Christmas time and New Year's. And again, it's a temperate, warmer location. And so people do go there during this time of year, and they don't have enough ships, they don't have enough planes to get everybody out of there. And you know how tourists freak out. So they estimate and exaggerate on what they think is going to happen because they're not from there. They don't have anybody telling them other than maybe the news, and that's not always the best. And so I'll just say, look, there's a lot of people there that are not, normally from there. That's seasonal. It's tourist season. And you don't want everybody to leave by showing them a lava flow that's coming down the side of the volcano that's not going to even do anything to anybody right now as it stands. It'll be something cool to see. So if you're a tourist there, don't leave. You're not going to get gassed out with some kind of big gaseous blast or anything. Don't worry. There's not going to be some big pyroclastic flow that, buries you like the town of Pompeii. This volcano is known for its lava flows that put out layers, and you could see the previous layers from 1984 and 1970s and going back. That's how it's gotten so big over time. It's not going to come bury you in a big lava flow. If I was there, I would stay there. Again, I'm not getting paid to say this. I'm just imagining that there's going to be people that are like, oh, should we go? Should we not stay? enjoy it. Try to get a helicopter view if they'll let the flyovers once the ash things around the area, the worries about ash are over. Man, could you imagine what that would be like to see? Even at a distance? To even get the glow at night with some camera photos? That's historic right there. Stay, get shots, have a good time. Let me know what you find. Let me know if it gets any bigger, and man, get some video of it, will you? You might even be able to pay for your vacation if you live stream the damn thing, because apparently nobody wants to live stream it except for a few channels. If I was there, I'd be running a live stream right now. Now, let me remind everybody, 2 weeks ago, well, just over 2 weeks ago, we had our big, deep 7.0 earthquakes that struck here below Tonga, prompting me to issue that 2-week warning, which I don't normally do. I normally do 7-day watch, but I told you guys we're going to watch 10 days to 14 days. Well, this is like day 17. So we're 3 days beyond the watch, and now we've reached all the way to Hawaii. And I'll say it, this is in place of the 6.0 range earthquake we were looking for to strike at Mauna Loa. And I warned between Mauna Loa and Kilauea, and that's exactly where this flow is pretty much taking place. It's coming out the north side of Mauna Loa. It's going up on the north side of Mauna Loa. That's between Mauna Loa and Kilauea. Kilauea is to the east-southeast, and this flow is going out on the north side. Anyway, we warned there, right there at the foot of Mauna Loa on the east side for a 5.9 earthquake, a rare large earthquake to hit there. But then I said it in the video from 16 days ago or whatever. I'm like, well, there is this thing going on with Mauna Loa, and they've stopped the hikers from going up to the top of the mountain. And with this new push coming through, I don't do volcano forecasting, guys, just so everybody's clear on this. I've got my hands full on trying to get earthquake forecasting down, and we're working on that, of course. And it's been a process publicly. On volcanoes, this is now I want to say it's probably about the 20th time where we're looking for a significant sized earthquake to strike at a spot that doesn't normally get it much, big earthquake activity. And instead we get a very rare eruption. I'll give you another example. Here, right in this open area, there's a volcano called Kadovar Volcano, Kadovar. I was looking for a rare 8.0 earthquake to strike here, upper 7, low 8, which I maybe only issue a warning for an 8, maybe once or twice a year, not often at all for anywhere on the planet. And that week, a few days after I issued the warning for right here, a volcano that had not erupted in 2,000 years blew its top and just obliterated the island. It was Kadovar Volcano. And the media weighed in on it and called it the first unexpected eruption of the year. Whatever time of year it was like January or something. February. I think it was January. First unexpected eruption of the year, they say. And I look at all my viewers. Well, I talked to all my viewers. It was live when all this happened. And long story short, we got a huge blast in a spot where we were looking for a big earthquake. Now, that's happened several times at other locations. That's just one glaring example of a volcano that hadn't erupted in 2,000 years. So here we are with the largest eruption in Hawaii, I think, well, maybe not the largest. One of the biggest eruptions in Hawaii in the last 40 years, just size-wise, Mauna Loa. Certainly the first eruption at Mauna Loa in 40 years, since 1984. And it's on the last day of the watch, or right after the last day of the watch, for something to happen there. Something significant to happen there, seismically speaking. But I brought up the potential of eruption because of the canceling of the hikers up to the top and the already ongoing seismic swarm at Mauna Loa, which brought me right down to the center. You can go back and watch the video. I already played it twice here on my stream today. And it's from 2 weeks ago. So I'm not bragging again. I just have to tell you, we talked about it 2 weeks ago. It was based upon the deep earthquakes and the spread going across the planet. After that deep 7, what happened? A flurry of earthquake activity that's worth mentioning, which I should just quickly show it to you because I documented most of it over on my YouTube channel. And I'm not trying to self-promote, but you'd have to come back and fish through my videos to see this. Literally nobody's going to tell you, so let me show you. Starting 2 weeks ago, seismic overdrive. Here on the 14th, here's where I'm talking about it. Then we move forward. Europe starts moving. Texas gets hit with the largest earthquake in 100 years, 7.0, hundreds of people killed, thousands injured in Indonesia, devastating earthquake in Indonesia. Then a 7.3 hits the next day in Solomon Islands with a tsunami. Then we get to just this week. Then here we are in this week, and I'm issuing the warnings, watching out. I'm like, here we come, here we go. It's spreading out across the Pacific, West Coast, and California, spreading to California. I talk about it spreading, and in this video from 5 days ago, I bring up Hawaii and it being on the last day of the last day of 7-day watch. So 7-day watch expired, and I was talking about it, and then now here we are, 5 days after that. It is what it is. You can see the increase. The increase started with our big, deep earthquakes, and then boom, 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 up to Mauna Loa, and that's where we are now. We'll wait and see what happens next. Have a plan and be prepared. Don't be scared. You can see the progression now spread out across the plates. It's not even up for debate. If anybody was on the fence about this, you can watch the earthquakes follow the arrows on the screen. So, the debate should be over, at least on whether or not earthquakes progress from region to region. Here's an example in the United States. This is the last day and a half's worth of quakes. Let me wait for this to refresh. Just for new viewers who don't know. So we can know the progress of the earthquakes, kind of like watching a river flood or a train go from destination to destination. And that's a big change from earthquakes being random. Anyway, word up and much love to all of you. I'm going to save this as a video and we'll get this out over on YouTube. I think everybody deserves to see this update. The flow is taking place out the north side of the volcano. It's most likely going to go down into an area that's just nothing but other lava flows, and the chances of it reaching to anywhere that I see that's populated are fairly slim right now. Unless, like I said, never rule out that a side vent can open, a flank fissure that can crack on the side of the volcano, and a new flow goes out in some completely different direction. Clearly the volcano's under stress, so don't ever rule that out entirely, but right now that's not happening. We'll know it. Other people will capture it. There's enough people now watching it. I guarantee it that there's, people all around that have cameras ready to go if anything else happens on either side of the volcano from where people can see it. Okay. This is go time. Seismically speaking, this is incredible go time. It's first time in 40 years this volcano has gone in. For the United States, it's a big deal. One more time, if you're a tourist there, you're planning on going there, you got some kind of vacation plan there, I'll go with you. I'll go with you. Yeah, no, you're going to have to take me and the Duchess because she's not going to let me go alone. No way. And then we got to take the cats, so it'll be me, Duchess, and the cats, and next thing you know, no, it's not going to work. You guys just go and have fun if you're going to go. If anything serious happens, you'll hear it from me. I will tell you. I won't sugarcoat it. If I see anything going on that looks weird, I will tell you first thing, straight up. Okay? Word up and much love. Look out for this over on YouTube in just a little bit. Peace out.